What's up, guys? Coach Vassar, thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you have any feedback, let me know. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. We're going to break down August 2nd on Saturday. This will also repeat on Sunday the 17th. This is a run row style workout. We're going to see strength on the treads and on the rowers, endurance on the weight floor. We'll talk about the 2G and then break down the 3G. Okay. If you have not done so and watched my video about Marathon Month, highly recommend it because it definitely is very applicable for today's workout. Looking at the tread side, we're going to complete a tread for distance at flat road. Then again on incline, you'll row, and then you'll repeat. On the floor, you have 3 blocks hitting your total body with high reps. First lower, then upper, then core. You do need low benches for today's setup, so just be aware of that. So when we look at the treads, it's 23 tread block. Members are self-paced here as they alternate between 2 tread efforts with customizable walk recoveries and then a strength-focused row of 400 meters. So every time they row, it is always 400 meters. The treads, distances will change every time. So quick recap, if you have not watched the other video, this is what we're talking about. For Marathon Month, the 23-minute tread block is what counts. Warm-ups, 3.5 minutes when you rotate the room does not count. So rather than have people to log in and then figure out what they did after class when they clear the screen, don't log in until you send them for their first effort. Okay, so if they go up to the tread, tap their name, just leave it there. When you say treads, clear out your screen in 3, 2, 1, they'll hit go to log in, and that will actually clear the screen automatically. They'll start at fresh zeros, and then it's going to track their distance from the start of the coach-led tread block. Round 1, we're going to see a 0.3 mile tread. They choose their own intensity. When they finish, they will take a walk recovery until they are ready to begin the next effort. My recommendation is, because it's flat road, use like a conservative push, because we're going to repeat that distance at a 3% incline. Power walkers aim to go 2% higher than whatever you did for the flat road. So if they were at 4, go to 6% and try to maintain your power walk speed. When it comes to the bikes and striders, they're going to add 1 to 3 gears on their second attempt and try to match or beat their time from the first one. Okay, because that is the goal here. We're trying to match or beat time on these repeats with incline. So if they can maintain their speeds, they're going to match. If they could increase their speeds, they'll do better. Once they finish the second one, they'll take that walk recovery until they're ready to go to the rower, hit the stop key twice. It'll shut down the treadmill. It'll save their information. They go up to the rower. That way they can log in. 400 meter stored program, 22 to 26 on that stroke rate. How they finish the row is up to them. So they could either go with a aggressive push, a conservative push, but really it's about the priority of the strength focus. Okay. When they go back to the treadmills, round 2, the distance is shorter, 0.2. Walk recovery, repeat 0.2, and also 3% incline. Because it's shorter, can they be more aggressive than we did for the 0.3, but recognize that they still have hills on that repeat. They'll go back to the row, knock out that 400 again, try to match or beat their time, and then the final round is 0.1 tread, walk, 0.1 tread at a 3% incline. After the last row, members have the choice of rowing until the finisher or tread for distance. Obviously, if someone's doing Marathon Month, they're going to hustle back to the tread and get there. Speaking of Marathon Month, a lot of times members don't like run rows because you are cheating them out of time on the treads. However, just like in a real marathon, you don't always get to just run the entire time at flat road. There's going to be weird things happening. There's going to be hills. There's going to be obstacles. You're going to have different things you're going to have to deal with, right? So this is kind of same mindset. Like, hey, this is your moment where you have to stop and tie your shoes. You're going to lose your pace. You got to do that row. Then you can get back to work. It is what it is, right? And if anything, it's just going to make them better. Because that's what we're all here for, is to become better, right? After the 23 minutes, that is it. Remember what they got in terms of distance. They could put into the challenge tracker, all that fun stuff. Now, looking at the weight floor side, we're going to see 3 blocks, 7.5 minutes, 90-second recovery for the first 2 blocks, and then the third block is just 5 minutes. They're going to be set up the same way with a back-to-back superset, and then eventually they're going to see a 1-minute buyout. The buyout prioritizes the different movement patterns that they're going to focus on. So in block 1, we're going to focus on lower body for the back-to-backs, and then the buyout is an upper body situation. We're going to see step down alternating squats paired up with the dumbbell deadlifts. So a good squat mechanic, a good hinge mechanic, 12 reps though, so moderate to heavy weight. Do both, rest, and then repeat. Okay. The final minute is when they're going to do a tempo triplet. We're going to see low bench push-ups. So hands are on the bench, feet are on the floor or on the knees. 2 counts down, 2 counts up. They'll probably get about 4 or 5 reps because they have 20 seconds. Then it's a slow tempo. 3 counts down, pause, 1 count up. Takes about 5 seconds, so probably about 3 to 4 reps. And then they hold the plank for the final 20. The second block, back to back, is going to be upper body. We're going to see low bench chest fly into tricep extension. Because we're targeting very similar muscle groups, go light, or they need to go lighter on the second exercise. Shoulders are packed, you reach out for that chest fly, and then pinch a volleyball between their elbows as they lower the dumbbells to the shoulders, and then back up for that tricep extension from the bench. One thing that I like to do for members when it comes to the tricep extension to really get the most out of it, when they grab the dumbbell, try to have the thumb on the head of the dumbbell. So that way it will increase the range of motion for them to come back before that dumbbell touches the shoulder. It's going to give them a bigger stretch. They're going to get way more out of it. Okay. If they can only get about 90 degrees, it is going to put a lot of stress on the elbow tendon. So if they complain about elbow pain, go lighter, get that stretch, and then extend. Okay. They'll have those 2 movements, rest, and then the tempo triplet is a bodyweight squat complex. They'll have regular tempo squats for 20 seconds, slow, 3 down, 1 up, and then a squat hold for the final 20 to really burn out those legs. The third block is all about core. We're going to see low bench straight arm sit-ups for 12 reps. Great option for this one is to have them place like the 20 to 30 pound dumbbell between their feet to help keep their feet weighed and down, make it easier for them to sit up and keep the arms up to the ceiling rather than try to swing the arms. Then that's going to pair it up with the low bench dead bug. Traditional dead bug, so opposite hand, opposite foot will extend back to the center and then switch. And then their finisher is going to be bodyweight squats for 30 seconds and then the low bench push-up for 30 seconds. And then they're done. When we look at the 3G, we're going to see a tread walk, very similar to the 2G, just without the rower portion, for 1 long block for 14.5 minutes. On the rower, 14.5 minutes of a work and active recovery, and then on the floor, we're going to see 2 different blocks there. So the tread side is actually set up exactly like the 2G, except for there's no rowing. So they'll do 0.3 at flat road, walk, 0.3 at an incline, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1, walk, and then tread until the finisher, which is a 1 minute all out. Okay. Encourage members to take those walk recoveries. That way they could work at a tough effort for the actual tracked distance. Okay. On the rower, we're going to see a 400-meter row, 26 to 30 strokes per minute, check and remember time, and then they're going to do a weighted overhead march in place for 12 reps. They're then going to repeat that distance at 22 to 26 strokes per minute, and then we're going to have an alternating knee raise with rotation for 12 reps. And the goal is to match or beat the row time at a lower stroke rate. Okay, so with that higher stroke rate, less leg drive. When they lower the stroke rate, more leg drive to increase their watts and keep it about the same so they can finish quicker. Once they finish the 400 twice, then they'll repeat it again with 300 meters and then eventually 200 meters. After that, they'll then row for distance until we call time for the finisher, which is a 1 minute all out. On the weight floor, we're going to see 1 longer block for 11.5 minutes. It is going to be the 3 back-to-back supersets from the 2G. So step down squat deadlift for 2 rounds, chest fly tricep extension, 2 rounds, sit up and dead bug, 2 rounds. Then do them all as 1 big block. And then their finisher for the final 2 minutes will be both of those tempo triplets from the 2G. So they'll do the squat, squat slow, squat hold, push up, slow push up, high plank hold. And then they're done. That's all I got on this one for August the 2nd on Saturday. Repeats Sunday the 17th. Any questions? Post it in the group me. Shoot me a DM. Otherwise, coach it down.